Well, hello there. It's not amusing.
You need a
Guess
mission?
what? I'm playing FusionFall again. Side note, I am recording all this
Let's kick
audio
Fuse's butt.
and commentary after recording, but in the near future I'll probably record myself at the same time I'm playing the game.
Great.
Now when I opened the game, I'm like,
Would you like a mission?
so what is this? And I completely forgot that they removed the future at some point and replaced it with this basic
We
training
have to move quickly to
camp
counter Fuse.
of some kind.
You need a mission?
And yeah,
Good work.
and I'm just kind of speeding my way through it, trying to get to the real meat of the
Stop by
game.
whenever.
Yeah. I just, you know, I do not recall why they got rid of the future. I think it was because, I think it was because of several factors. One is that traffic to the game was going down, and I think that in order to get more player, like, retention, like, they needed to get players into the game more quickly, so why bother them with, like, a 8 to like 12 hour tutorial where like they're like 10% contained in the actual like map of the whole game. So I think that was the biggest reason, is that's why player retention, and that's why they brought in this whole new this null void and this basic training stuff, which, you know, I think they did a good job with, considering that, you know, this was probably all like developed much later on in development. This is probably like one of the biggest scale things they ever did in the game since the game like came out. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of think of this as like some weird expansion, kind of. Yeah, because, you know, they didn't really do too much in the way of adding a lot of content to the game post-launch, and, you know, that's you know, that's a whole can of worms right there, because, you know, I don't know what company they were working with, but some company basically during development, you know, took the money and run. That was the story. I don't think we ever got an official word on it, but I think the story was that some company took the money during development and just kind of cut ties with them, ran away, solved the business, you know, couldn't fight them, couldn't go after the money. So they just always just had an uphill battle with this, you know, this casual MMO, more so than, like, you know, one would expect of like an MMO where they're doing, you know, content here, content there, whereas this one, you know, we got some event content from time to time, but it was, you know, it was kind of a while before we started to see any content coming into the game as soon as it launched, you know. I don't remember the whole time frame, but, you know, we saw, I just remember, like, I don't remember, was it Prince Cute Boy, who was one of the first or second player to defeat Fuse and make it to level 36, and then it's kind of like, now what? You know, you just kind of, you're level 36 for the entire, like, longevity of the game, and, you know, then, you know, adding in, like, certain seasonal quests and event quests, you know, sometimes, you know, really doesn't make a difference, but again, it's just, what can you do at that point? So, anyway, yeah, I'm still just speeding my way through this. I told myself in the beginning when I'm doing commentary that I'm like, yeah, like, you really don't need like a revive nano at any point in this game, because if you die, like, one, not even that bad of a punishment. Only a very harsh punishment if you're like in a very not well organized section of the game and you respawn like like on the other side of like the quadrant you're on. That's like the really only inconvenient time that if you die, but like, you know, that's combat in this game. So yeah, I stopped here and I was looking at like what on earth is this?
Catch you later.
But, yeah. I just, moving on here, killing things. I think I died very stupidly in the next part. I think I actually died twice on accident, but I think at some point in the future I also want to do a tier list of like all the characters in the game and compare them to like how well designed they are, like especially like compared to their 2D, 3D like cartoon self as they're depicted in the TV shows.
You know what you're doing.
I didn't think it was fair to do it before I played, because I know that they eventually did add a handful of characters to FusionFall near the end of the game's life cycle. And what I'm playing right now, by the way, is FusionFall Retribution, which is kind of a revival of the game itself. I think there's like only one shard or one server, but they're adding their own custom things in, which I think a lot of it is going to be near the middle or near the end of the game. But I think, once I see something obvious that I'm like, I really don't remember this, they might have added this, I'll probably say that. But I know, like, just this area, I think I did this with a side character like once maybe, and I'm like, okay, well, I have like full character slots anyway, so I don't really think I'll ever like be doing going through this area because it's just, you hang out here in this whole section less than you would the future. I mean, there's still people hanging out in the future at some point.
Brilliant.
Pretty much, mainly at the cul-de-sac, sometimes Genius Grove, but yeah.
That's wonderful.
This whole time here, I'm like, who is Lance? Where's Lance from? I don't remember Lance. I really don't remember Lance. Is he from like Generation Rex or whatever this is? I'll probably find out as I go. Yeah. Another thing you'll notice is that I named myself The Amused. I don't believe they had not as a word you could select. Also, you'll see me just completely failing to use this for like 5 or 6 times. I do remember at some point you can use the actual cursors for this instead of just WASD. But yeah, going back to what I said before, I also want to do a tier list of like the nanos, but I think that's going to be like the most nothing tier list ever, because you can like pick you can pick what powers the nanos are going to have. I guess you could compare what, you could just look at their 3 powers and see how it stacks up against all the other nanos, but it's just kind of,
You think you're ready for this?
kind of a nothing burger. We'll see if that comes to fruition. I'd also want to compare the nano powers. I know there was there's a tier list of comparing the nano powers, and there's just some of them that I'm like, I don't think I ever use this. And with the damage or snare nanos, there's like you can have like a group one, you can have a solo one, you can have like a wide area one, And I don't recall if they make a difference in terms of cooldown compared to like if it's solo, group, or like a widespread area, or like if the damage is affected, if it's like a single enemy or multiple enemies targeted. Like a group, like a wide area one, I do not recall. I have to quickly check that in the game, like later on. And oh, there you go. That's embarrassing. But yeah, I also, when they added this in FusionFall, I do not recall if they added these nanos, if they added Finn and let's say Rex here. I'm blanking on the name. And then we get Alien X, which I think, I could be wrong here, but I think they had the forums vote on who like the next nano would be. That might have been the first nano outside of the original 36. I cannot recall. But I think Alien X ended up winning. And I do not think, in the beginning, I do not think the cream, I do not think the choices they gave us to begin with were really that desirable outside of, you know, more kids that age. I think when I played this, you know, I was like a freshman, sophomore, like in 8th grade or middle school, and I think there was like huge Ben 10 craze, and so that's why I think Alien X just kind of like stole the whole competition. But, you know, as I said, I don't think there were a lot of good choices to begin with, because I don't think they had us be like, each one just pick a random character in the whole Cartoon Network universe. I think they gave us like a pre-set selection of people, and we kind of worked it out from there. And me was being completely neutral on Ben 10 for the most part. I'm kind of like, okay, cool. He's kind of unique and stuff, but I don't really have that much attachment to him. But you know, the thing was that when they released him, I think they gave him a nano mission and stuff. But you know, I don't think there was a lot of missions beyond that, beyond what they gave to us at the nano mission at the time. You know, you're probably going to hear me talk about this a lot. I wish I kept better documentation of the game. I wish there was probably some better documentation somewhere along in some Discord, along in some, maybe like the FusionFall wiki has it. I think I knew like several people who were like, who started their own separate forums to FusionFall after, you know, they announced the forums were going away, and I think that was shortly after they announced the game was going free to play, and you know, that's when, you know, the writing was on the wall. But that's a story for another time. But yeah, I think I knew like 2 separate people that were working on the FusionFall wiki, and I think some separate website where they kept, you know, what does like a fan Wikipedia do? Just collect all the basic articles and stuff, whatnot, which is, I'm saying like it's easy to do, which it's not easy to do. It's very meticulous work, especially, you know, when certain assets and artwork from a game like this aren't publicly available. But, you know, yeah, I definitely know one of them like asked me for my input at some point, I believe, and I'm like, man, I don't know what you expect me to do. I don't think I can contribute anything to this wiki. And I'm like, yeah, like the time I have playing the game is like even talking about the game, anything FusionFall. I'm playing the game. I'm not offline. Really, if I'm not on the game or like sometimes on the forums, I'm not like doing any FusionFall archival or anything of some kind. I'm just not doing
Somebody
it.
call for a secret weapon? Bring it on!
So, yeah. I remember, at some points, like, I think later on here, I think by this point now, when I have to go back to the sky for like the 10th time, I'm like, okay, can we get on with this?
You did a fantastic job.
And finally, we can get on with this. And
That's wonderful. I hope we'll talk again soon.
we'll kind of slowly
Bring it on! Bring it on!
I gotta run to the other side of the map, talk to Computress, and then she'll move me to the graduating area, which is the new place of how you select one of your 4 guides in the game. And back in the future, when you move back into the past from the future, that's when you selected one of your 4 guides. And I think at that point,
You ready for this?
I don't know if there was any future missions that added some more context into what the premise of what that guide was doing at the time, because I think in the future, no, Dexter is still in the future, I'm pretty sure, but like, I mean, I don't think Mojo is in the future, I don't think Ed is in the future.
What do you want? See you later.
Who is
The Absolution is in trouble, and no worries.
So I'm just looking at some of the characters here. I'm looking at like the models that I'm like, oh yeah, these were definitely like, I remember these people were added like after the game launched, and I'm like, oh, okay, Fred does still not have audio. These are all original people. I know they have audio. Just moving on.
Do you require a mission? Mission. Farewell. Greetings.
But Ben is the 4th guy.
Isn't it? But the
When I first played the game, I picked Dexter as my
I'd be
guide.
honored to guide a great recruit like you.
And I am going to do the
Stop by
same
whenever.
again.
Incoming
I
message.
think on
Hi
my
there.
second
Fuse
character,
giving you any
Daria
trouble?
Muse,
Take care.
I
Hey,
think
what's up?
I did
Later.
Ben, and then on a 3rd character, which I never like interacted with anybody about my 3rd character, I picked Mojo, and then, Ed doesn't excite me as a character or as a guide, so
You ready for this? Mission.
you'll see me comparing if all the stats are the same. Yeah, they clearly are, they're all just recolors.
Excellent work. Upward. Goodbye. Communications online.
I know, so I think
Is it a mission
this
that
is,
you require, or is it something else entirely?
I don't know what
Get out of my sight.
threads they put together or what
Catch you later.
context it was. And I think they teased these nanos at some point during the original run of FusionFall. I don't remember. There is Major Glory, who is like missing in Dexter's guide missions. But I don't, since they added him as an NPC at this point, I don't remember what thread they possibly put together to have
You think you're ready for
him,
this?
be in
Somebody
the
call
game,
for a
but
secret
also
weapon?
missing from the game. Probably wasn't very important in the grand scheme
Do
of
you
things,
require a mission?
because I think he was only,
Mission accomplished.
he might have been here in
Best of luck
FusionFall
signing
for an
gloves.
event, or some seasonal event, and then he never popped back up, maybe.
Yeah, that's fine.
Greetings. Perhaps we will talk again later.
I suppose you like mission. Don't be a stranger.
Okay.
Bring it on.
Okay.
Somebody call
Stop
for a secret
Computress.
weapon?
Let's be done with this. Let's move on and cement this.
Do you require
This will
ignition?
be the first time we officially start FusionFall,
Affirmative.
aka
Goodbye.
FusionFall
Incoming
Retribution.
message. I have a
Nope,
mission.
sorry, gotta move extra. Whoops.
Don't be stupid. Catch you later. Do you require ignition?
I think a lot of the new NPCs. I remember Flapjack, I think, was on the map
Best of luck.
permanently
Goodbye.
in like
Bring
the.
it on. Think you're ready for this?
I don't think he was by Pirate Bay. I think he was in like the forest area with like Camp Laszlo stuff.
I'm out of here. Communications online.
Oh, say, can
But yeah, I
you
don't
see?
think Major Glory was
And
ever
I
in
need
the
some
game
assistance.
besides a seasonal event, and then they took him out. They do that. They did that a lot, you know, later
Bring it
on.
on.
And I know
Bring
they
it
did that
on.
with like Tom from Toonami.
What's going on?
And, you know, it's Dexter. Drum roll, it's Dexter. Okay. So we are officially going to go into the past and be in the shared world with all these other people. And that is actually where I'm going to leave you. Again, in the near future, I'm going to probably record audio at the same time I play the game, give a little bit more perspective. But for now, I will leave you to it. So, goodbye and good luck.